everyone, it's Wendy. We are going to make a freaking awesome card today, okay? I am so excited to do this with you. We're going to get seriously messy. So, Style and Stamp and Inkspiration is a blog that I am a design team member for. And the challenge for this card was to make a masculine card. So it's pretty simple, right? Yeah, right. Masculine cards are always hardest for me. So what we have here is a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 flashback designer series paper. It is not going to look anything like this when we are done with it. You ready? So first I have some of this paint. It's called, I've heard it pronounced both ways, gesso and gesso. So I guess however you want to pronounce it is fine. I don't know what the actual pronunciation is because I've heard people say it both ways. But it is it's a white primer paint. So basically it prepares an area for you to do more stuff on. So that's what we're going to use first. And I'm just using this nice wide brush and I'm going to paint across here. So as you can see, what's happening is that you can still see the design, but it's like faded in the background. You're basically adding a layer onto here. You could pretend like it's a layer of paper, for instance, but it's just paint. So you can still see the design, but it doesn't stand out super strong. And then of course I don't paint it perfect all the way to the edges because I kind of want this like lighter, darker areas. Okay, so that's what we did there. And we need to now dry that with the heat tool. So I'm going to do that and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now we are going to add some Always Artichoke ink right down onto the paper. I know, scary, right? Ah, blobs of ink. And then we're just going to spread it. And it kind of starts to mix a little with the paint. Okay. And you can do as much or as little of this as you want. You can lighten it and darken it depending on how much you want to add. So that's how mine's going to be for now. And now I'm going to dry this with the heat tool. Okay, I'm back. So as you can see, it dries a little bit lighter than it goes on originally. So just keep that in mind when you're playing with it. All right, now I have Cajun Craze and I have a sponge. And so I'm just going to start at the edge and work my way in all around the edges here. And I'm making this card for my husband. I already have another card made for him for his birthday. He's turning 40 this year, so I'm going to give him a card every day of the week. And I have like all kinds of fun stuff planned for him. His birthday's not till April, but I'm kind of already planning now because it's a big birthday. So that'll be fun. All right, so soft suede. Gonna go ahead and ink that up, dab it a little, and then I'm going right over the top of where I just inked my Cajun Craze. And you don't want to like get rid of the orange, but you really want to mute it. So you can still see it popping through on the edges. Looks great. Okay, so now for the fun part. So we are going, well, this is already fun, right? I mean, that already looks really cool. You could just do a sentiment right in the middle and be done. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to use the Guy Greeting stamp set, which is a fabulous, fabulous stamp set for all things masculine. And we're going to use this super macho machismo guy. I'm going to stamp him here first to make sure he's... I think I need to re-ink my stays on, y'all. Hold on a minute here. Okay, let me get my re-inker. That's just not a very strong... I keep my re-inkers in this container. Where's my stays on? Is this it? No, that's Memento ink. There it is, stays on. So let's re-ink this real quick. Gotta use Stays On because I'm going to do some watercoloring. So you gotta make sure you use Stays On when you watercolor. Alright, let's see how he stamps now. Ooh, much better. See the difference there? So when you have an ink pad starting to run out of ink, there'll be a way lighter, it'll stamp way lighter than it should. So, much better. Alright, so let's ink him up. And we're gonna stamp him right here. And then we have World's Greatest Sentiment, which is from that same stamp set. I'm gonna do it right here. And then Husband. Whoops. There you go. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, now we are not done. We have more to do. Now what we're gonna do is I have lots of different colors out here. Not lots, a few. I've got Early Espresso, Blushing Bride, and Soft Suede. Let's get some of that ink in the palette there. And we're going to do a little bit of watercoloring. So the key to this is going to be not having it so watery that it runs all over the place. I'm using Soft Suede here. But you want it to have enough water that it moves, that your color moves. Okay. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to let that kind of just set. I'm cleaning my brush and I'm going to go over into the Blushing Bride. Now Blushing Bride is a pretty dark pink, so I am going to take some of it and put it over here, and then I'm going to add water to it. So it is super diluted. And then before I put it on here, I'm going to test it over here, because the worst thing in the world would be for me to have like this super macho guy and have him be bright pink or something, right? But I need to add a little color to him. So this just makes him a very nice fleshy tone when you don't add too much ink. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then I'm going to go ahead and add some down here in his legs, where his legs are showing. I'm not super happy about how dark this is. I did another one and it was a lot lighter. So the trick to getting it lighter is not drying your white paint and just kind of mixing in your re-inker. So that's just a tip for you. You may want to. So now I'm going to add some little bit darker color here on his pants. And I want his pants to look old and grungy, kind of, because that's the kind of picture this is. This reminds me of like a prize fighter. Have you ever seen that movie Far and Away? It's kind of what it reminds me of. Alright, so now I'm going to go back into my Soft Suede and use that for the scroll, this banner. And I'm just going to trace kind of under here and across the top. And then really get rid of any excess ink and just kind of pull that ink in from the middle. Then I could go into my Early Espresso here and add, where it's shaded, add a little bit of darker ink. So the cool thing about stamps is well, I should say Stampin' Up! Stamps. I don't know about other stamps, but Stampin' Up! Stamps usually shades kind of where it should be darker in an image. So that's really nice when you are coloring and stuff, because it's kind of like a hint. Hey, this should be darker. So there we have it. World's Greatest Husband. So I'm still not happy with his pants. I'm going to go back in and add some more ink. I'm not even getting any water on this brush now. I'm just adding ink. There we have it. That looks better. Just kind of moving the ink around. Okay, that's it. So now, this is what the finished product looks like. Isn't that cool? I love it. You just mat it on a piece of Always Artichoke cardstock, and you are set to go. Fun card, super masculine. Nothing about this is feminine. There's no flowers, there's no frills. It is dirty and grungy and looks like a dude card. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Go check out Style and Stampin' Inkspiration for more ideas.